4th, plated their 4th run. And then Gabriella Shattuck, the ACC Freshman of the Week. Half of her hits have been for extra bases this season, and another double. Duke on top with a 3-run lead. And they weren't done yet. Power showed off for them in the 6th inning. Big home run by Jess Oakland. It was her 13th home run shot of the year. Very next batter, Tyrena Jones, her 20th home run of the year, and set the Duke single-season home run record. Then with Layla Lamar on, KK Mathis 2-run blast to walk off Clemson, Duke's 9th run rule win of the season.
Hard to choose who to pick for this Duke lineup, but keep an eye out on these two, Jessica Oakland and Tyrena Jones. Two of a handful of really history makers for this Duke team this year. And we are ready for game 2 between Duke and Clemson. Jamison Brockenbrough leads it off for Clemson. Ground ball right back to the pitcher, and 1 pitch and 1 out here for Ava Bradshaw and this Duke defense as we look at Clemson's lineup to face Bradshaw. Brockenbrough, the center fielder, Chanel, the shortstop behind her. Both were 0 for 3 yesterday, but it was Pavesi who had the solo home run, her 6th of the season. Has started to get it going after a couple slow ACC weekends. Over the last couple weeks, she's had 7 hits. First pitch outside to Kylie Chanel.
Just really important for Chanel to be able to step in and do some big things. You could tell that Brockenbrough was trying to be aggressive early, but they needed Bradshaw to show what she's got and bring that ball closer to the zone.
Chanel watches the first 2 pitches to jump ahead 2-0. She's a transfer from Florida Atlantic that's been an outstanding program for a long time, really. American Conference Rookie of the Year a couple years ago, first season at Clemson. Big shoes to fill for what they lost a year ago. And there is the redshirt freshman from Michigan, Ava Bradshaw. Last 9 outings, 16 innings over that span, 5 earned runs. That's good for a 2.18 ERA.
Well, and she sat alongside the coaches all season long while she was rehabbing her torn ACL back in 2025, that redshirt year. And so what you'll see from her in the circle today, she relies on her curveball to both sides. That's what that east-west movement looks like. And then mixes up an arm side run with a rise and a screw at the belt. She will flash that changeup, but doesn't rely on that pitch.
Up and away, ball 4 on just 5 pitches to Chanel.
And so sometimes the attack in the box comes down to being aggressive, and sometimes showing patience pays off, and that's what it does for Chanel there after a really fast start by Brockenbrough in that leadoff spot.
Here is Mac Pavesi, the freshman who for a lot of this season has been the leader of this offense. She leads them in hits with 54. Top 2 in average, runs, doubles, and RBIs as well.
It's that RBI number that is so important for Clemson to be able to push them into a place to score runs.
Can they get the lead runner? They can, and then Pavesi going to first is safe. There might have been some interference if she would have been called out because Baker kind of cut her off down the line.
I think this is a unique play because over at first base, Jada Baker doesn't take the easy out at first, but gets the lead runner over there at second base. A nice little turn by Oakland, but not in time to be able to get Pavesi at first.
2 outs for Bradshaw. Get off to just the start Duke needs. I think that overwhelming thought with Duke is that they are going to be led by this offense, but you need a sprinkle of pitching to be able to make it where you really want to go. And last night we saw that from their ace, Cassidy Curd. She gave them an outstanding performance.
And they need to have people that will back up Curd in the circle. I anticipate that we'll see Curd again tomorrow, but this is the kind of pitch that has to do it. Up in the zone, getting over the barrel, so important for Bradshaw to have a really good outing here today.
Cintron pops it up and out of play. Macy Cintron, such an important player for Clemson, both offensively and now pitching, which she has started doing more of over these last couple weeks.
And I think that comes down to that knee injury that she suffered in the fall, just gaining strength and confidence to be able to land on that leg and throw well, hit well, and a big blast.
Wow, crushes that off the side of the scoreboard in left. A 2-run shot for Macy Cintron, her 7th of the year.
Coming into today, Macy Cintron had told her teammates, I'm going to do something special on an inside pitch. And look at that. Belt high, middle in, huge bomb. I mean, that is the kind of performance that Cintron has been waiting for, to be able to not only give them the lead here early in this ball game, but the confidence that she's had off the field now showing here in the box.
It's really interesting. Since she started pitching, her offensive numbers have also improved, and I don't know that there's anything to that or if it's just a coincidence, but overall, we're seeing why she was the ACC Freshman of the Year a season ago.
It was just so important to be able to show confidence on both sides of the ball, and when you're able to produce in both ways, it definitely trickles into both performances.
Right side backhanded by Baker and steps on the bag. It was nearly a really good start for Ava Bradshaw, but Macy Cintron said, not so fast.
The ACC Freshman of the Year coming in her sophomore season, blasts her 7th home run of the season and puts Clemson on top 2-0.
First base side of the concourse. Fans, please take note. Our cool-down station is located along the third base.
An emotional experience. Deanna Jennings, Amina Vega, this whole group really a history-setting group, and we've talked about it. This is not a Duke program with a lot of years under its belt, but these aren't just record breakers because the record book hadn't been written yet. These are elite players that we're seeing. 6 of those 7 seniors are in the starting lineup today. The only one we might not see is the pitcher, Cassidy Kerr. As you take a look at Tyrena Jones, who is one of those seniors, didn't spend her whole career here, but certainly has left her mark.
She definitely has. A graduate transfer coming in from Purdue this season. Her bat has gotten hot as of late, and they need it as they head into the postseason, looking to get back to OKC.
You could argue this is the best 1-2 punch in the country at the top of this Duke order with Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega. And it doesn't drop off much from Jessica Oakland, Tyrena Jones, and Layla Lamar. It is an elite 5 hitters that they have. One 1-0 pitch from Abby Dunning, catches just outside ball 2. Abby Dunning, another one who I think has benefited from Macy Cintron's emergence in the circle. You look at Dunning's last few appearances, they have been a little bit shorter, but 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed over that time.
And she was a workhorse for Boston College in 23 and 24, but with limited action in 25 due to injury, this season has been a big one. Right around 70 miles an hour, uses her screwball and the rise ball up in the zone.
Jennings walks, so a ton of speed on the base paths for Duke to start the inning.
You mentioned power throughout the lineup. Well, here it comes. 4 hitters back to back to back to back, all with double-digit home runs and a ton of speed on the bases. A perfect 15 for 15 for Jennings.
There's 5 elite bats I mentioned, all hitting over 345. You said it, 4 of them have double-digit home runs, at least 12. The other one is Jennings, who has 70 hits, has scored 60 runs, and has over a dozen doubles. Amina Vega 1 for 2 with a pair of walks yesterday. One misses down and away, ball 1.
And that screwball is so important for her to be able to find that outside corner against these left-handed hitters. There's a lot of power in these lefties, especially with Vega up right now. Not only is she a powerful hitter, but there's a ton of speed in the box right now, too.
Fouled straight back and fell behind. We saw some of the power for Vega a week ago.
I think in her freshman and sophomore season, Vega felt the pressure to produce. The last couple of years, though, she's been able to lead the offense in batting average and a ton of home runs. This is a player that is finishing off her career here at Duke with records, but also one of the pillars of this program that can be built on in the future.
Dunning practically begging for that call in the circle, but can't get it. And I think that shows you this Clemson staff understands the task at hand against this Duke offense.
You've got to find a way to get to a corner. It'll bring Taylor Roby out of the dugout. Maybe it's just an issue with her armband in terms of her pitch comm needing to change out the watch. But at the same time, that screwball is such an important pitch for Dunning. If she cannot find that corner, it's going to be difficult for her to find corners and not leave the ball big to these hitters right now that will punish you sitting in the box.
Two count to Vega. Had a 19-game hit streak snapped in their midweek game. She walked twice in that. She's reached in 31 straight games and all but 2 this year. That walk ties a single-season Duke record.
And you know that Dunning right now just struggling to find the zone. 2 walks to 2 of the fastest hitters in the lineup. And then you've got to just face power in the box. You cannot miss big against these next 3.
Jessica Oakland takes strike 1 on the inside corner. She has been otherworldly as of late. That win over Tennessee that they picked up about a week and a half ago right here in Durham. She had a 3-run home run off Sage Margetko. Diving stop in left field, likely saves a run for now, but the bases loaded for the single-season home run queen here at Duke. She just did it last night. Tyrena Jones gets a grand opportunity in the first.
I've been impressed with the way that Kylie Chanel over at second base has been able to be so good at keeping the ball from getting to the outfield. The problem is, playing that deep, there's not really a play that can be made, but she did prevent the run.
Sometimes when you're chasing a record, it seems like players can get stuck. That wasn't necessarily the thing for Tyrena Jones. She broke the record pretty easily, but then when it happens, sometimes the floodgates can open. This would be quite the opportunity for her to let another one rip.
And you could tell that first swing, she was going for over the scoreboard with a really steep angle in that swing, but then leaves the next pitch as a strike and sits in a pretty big hole now.
Big pitch for Dunning. Chops that one away. Tyrena Jones, this was the one that tied Anna Gold a week ago at Boston College.
I mean, blasts, that's what she hits. So much whip through her swing that when she connects at the right spot, the ball completely flies. Last night, the record breaker, 20th home run of the season, and sets the single season home run record over Anna Gold.
Another 0-2 pitch from Abby Dunning.
You're also seeing a ton of power coming out of the box, or out of the circle from Dunning right now, touching 73. So sometimes when you throw through your spin, it prevents the ball from moving. So right now, just a lot of velo coming out of the circle.
Oh, got her with the changeup. What a pitch from Dunning.
That changeup is a difference maker for sure, and you could tell that she was looking for a specific pitch. She was asking her catcher to continue to throw the velo up in the zone. So the pitch before was not supposed to be a strike. It was a setup pitch for that pitch right there. Nice little changeup to get the early swing and miss. First strikeout of the game for Dunning.
Here's the coach's kid, Layla Lamar. Popped up and out of play. Marissa Young talked about her development as an offensive player. Also said one of the things Layla has done after playing infield most of her life growing up, she's developed into a really good right fielder for Duke. You can sense the pride from Marissa Young, her mom, whenever you ask her about Layla.
She'll give a shy little smile. She doesn't necessarily brag about her daughter, but she is so proud with the development that she's shown, not only at the plate this season, but also out in right field. Came away with a big catch against Tennessee.
Nine years for this program and 9 years for Marissa Young at the helm. They've won all 7 ACC series. A win today would make it 8 for 8 this year. They are closing in on a program record in doubles. They're not far off their program record in home runs.
Mom's feeling it. I mean, it's so cool, though, because you know that coaches follow prospective athletes for years to make sure that they're tracking the right things and seeing the right development. Well, this is one of those athletes that Marissa Young has seen her whole life.
Takes a strike at the top of the zone.
And I think that's a good take, Chucky. That ball up in the zone, you don't want to pop up with bases loaded in this situation. And so with that ball up in the zone, she was looking for something down. Very good take. She thought she got the walk.
3-2. Into left field and doesn't quite have the legs. Caught at the warning track. It will score a run for Duke and hold the other two runners at first and second.
And she knew she had to go after that pitch because the one previous was up in that same location. And with that spot up in the zone, she knew that she could not let it go by and be safe. So tattooing that ball deep enough to get the sac fly, get the first run on the board for Duke. But very heads-up base running over there at second base by Amina Vega. Didn't try to take 3 and keeps herself safe at second.
It's a big hack from KK Mathis here in the 6-hole. 1 for 3, a home run, and drove in 3 last night. She's closing in on giving Duke their 5th double-digit home run hitter this year. Out straight back by Mathis.
As a power hitter, when you face a pitcher that likes to go up in the zone, it actually bodes well for you because that ball up in the zone is easier to elevate and celebrate. So to be able to stay disciplined, though, right at the belt, that's the important piece for Duke. They don't want to chase at the letters because that's typically the swing and miss pitch.
One gets away and the runners will advance. Just off the glove of the catcher, Corey Hicks, Oklahoma transfer. Popped up. It's going to be close to playable, and it's just going to drop on the on-deck circle.
That's all about communication. That was a catchable ball by Hicks, but she stopped as she watched Pavesi come in and try to get there. That was a missed opportunity for Clemson right there to get out of this one without any more damage and hold the lead here in the first.
John Rittman probably thinking something to the effect of, you cannot give this lineup any extra opportunities. Ground ball left side, fair ball just over the bag, and that is why 2 runs come across and Duke leads.
How do you attack a rise ball pitcher? Well, you've got to make sure that you keep your hands on top and the barrel as well as you attack those balls up in the zone. John Rittman not really sure if that was a fair ball, but because it was called fair on the field and is played out, they can then have a conversation with umpires, and this is actually a reviewable play that they can go to the monitors and see if it is a fair ball.
John Rittman was somewhat animated coming out of the dugout as well. I think he was saying that's not even close.
It's challenging, fair foul. The ruling on the field is fair. This play is review.
What was your initial thought when you saw it?
I thought it was foul initially, but by it being called fair on the field, it allows all the runners to take advantage of that opportunity, allows the defense to play it out. But here's our looks that we'll give you. It's definitely tight, and you can tell that the home plate umpire, Don Brown, is behind the plate, so his eyes, because it developed so quickly, his eyes are a little bit offset. So he called it fair on the field, and with that call, everything plays out. The defense plays it as well. And I like the way that Kylie Johnson got it in quickly, got it to second base to prevent Mathis from being able to advance to second base. But very aggressive base running, plates 2, and that would give Duke the lead if this one stays fair. And so you go back to that pop fly earlier in this at bat in foul territory. Why is it so important for communication on defense? Because that would have prevented these 2 runs and kept Clemson winning the inning. And that seemed to be the message that John Rittman was giving his team, or is giving his team here at the end of the season. We may not be seeing the wins at the end of games, but we've got to make sure that we're winning innings. And by winning innings, they'll see more wins in the win column.
The last time it hit the line, or it bounced before going beyond third base, it was fair. So the question is, did it jump foul in those few feet? And we will get the call right here.
After review, the call stands.
You mentioned it, Chucky. That last bounce before it goes over third base is in fair territory. And as a runner on third base, you have to make sure that you run in foul ground, because if that ball actually hit the base runner in fair territory, it's a dead ball, it's an out, and this inning's over. So base running also very important in that situation.
So it goes down as a 2 RBI single for KK Mathis, and that brings up Gabby Shattuck. Fouls it straight back, and Clemson down to just 1 challenge now with 6 innings to play. It's a different feel when you've watched this Duke team and you see them go down early. We saw it in the Stanford series really twice. They didn't come back to win game 2, but they showed that fight, and then game 3 was an unbelievable comeback to beat Stanford here in this building and avoid what would have been their only ACC series loss.
And I think what you're seeing is a Duke team that has just gained confidence as this season has gone on. That the losses to Virginia Tech and Stanford and North Carolina have been lessons that they've learned, and they're bringing it here to the end of the season.
I have to think a lot of that stems from who we just showed you, their head coach Marissa Young, who is always at that level. She is always calm.
And she doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. I mean, even when her daughter made that amazing catch out in right field to help secure that win against Tennessee, she just gave almost a golfer's clap and a nod of the head. And that's the kind of head coach that I love to play for. One that doesn't jump around and get too excited, but also doesn't let me get too low when I'm facing a slump or an error in the field.
This is lifted to left center field, traveling back and gone. Another one for Gabby Shattuck, her 7th of the year. her 4th in the last 8 games.
When we talk about youth, we typically think Clemson, but in this situation, Gabby Shattuck says, how about I show you what youth does at Duke? I mean, that ball is left big. You've got to find corners, you've got to change speeds, and Shattuck absolutely demolished that pitch. There's no way they're bringing that one back. Big home run and a big inning for Duke.
You mentioned it once, but it's worth revisiting that pop-up in foul territory. This would have been, I believe, a 2-1 lead for Clemson.
Yeah, they would have gotten out of this inning with the win, and more than anything, it's missed opportunities. And when you have youth in the field like that, sometimes those missed opportunities become lessons that you need to learn. The sad part about it here today is the fact that it's happening at the end of the season. A win against Duke helps Clemson's RPI, helps their postseason resume, and in this situation, it was a missed opportunity that's led to a big 5-run inning.
And we'll talk about this more as the day goes on and tomorrow, but it's notable that it's not just about the top 16, maybe now more than ever, because of the way they're doing the seeding this year, where they're going to seed 1 through 32. It's still important that even if you miss out on hosting, you'd much rather be 17 than 30.
Most definitely. You don't want to sit at the bottom of the seedings because you'll match up against the top of the leaderboard, and that seems to be what's happened to Clemson in recent years. They've gone up against the eventual national champion in super regionals, and with that have not been able to find their way to Oklahoma City yet in the young age of their program.
Duke's first season was in 2018. Clemson's was in 2020, and of course was not a full season as Jada Baker walks. I'd say a pretty good start for the seniors in this Duke lineup. And out comes John Rittman to talk with Abby Dunning.
This is one of the qualities about John Rittman that I love, the calm confidence that he brings out to the circle. He knows that Abby Dunning is not trying to deliver big pitches. He's got an arm warming in the pen. He's got Macy Cintron up in the bullpen. And this is just a conversation where he's trying to help her understand, look, we missed an opportunity to get you out of this inning. And right now, I need you to nip some corners, change some speeds, and get us out of this inning.
And it's maybe even more notable for Dunning to eat up a few innings because their ace, Sierra Manis, last night was pulled in the 3rd inning. So not entirely sure of her status as this weekend moves on. Hopefully she's able to go, but they certainly don't want to have to go that route today.
Well, I'm sure the plan is to let Manis rest today and maybe bring her back tomorrow. But she did get relieved in the 3rd inning of yesterday's ball game. Put ice on immediately in the dugout. The trainer was checking her out. So a little bit of concern for the Clemson pitching staff, knowing that Manis is the arm that they have relied on this season, throwing 159 innings so far this year.
There's Sierra in the Clemson dugout. They already have a couple arms banged up on this staff. Kira Crosby hasn't thrown since April 3rd at Virginia Tech. Olivia Duncan last threw on March 1st against Mississippi State. And so even if Manis were to go tomorrow or weren't, you still don't want to show the entire staff today. So in a tough spot here when you've given up 5 in the 1st. This is slapped into left and caught on the run by Kylie Johnson. 7 first inning runs, and Duke gets 5 of them.
Well, Shattuck comes up with a big blast. Talk about setting the tone early. Duke on top, 5-2.
everyone else finishes up next weekend. Here's some key dates for you. Conference Championship Week starts in, well, just over a week. The Selection Show on May 10th, one of our favorite days, and then Women's College World Series May 28th through June 5th in Oklahoma City. We can only hope that we get the drama that we got a year ago in OKC.
If there is something that gets my heart beating more than that, I don't know what it is. Just the excitement that goes into not only Selection Sunday as we go into the postseason, but being in Oklahoma City playing for a national championship. I was blessed enough to be able to play for 4 national championships in my career. And then the next season, I didn't know what to do with myself. It was so hard to watch what everybody else was watching that year because I felt like I was missing out. It's such a special place.
Clemson has been so close to Oklahoma City in such a short time as a program. They have 9 wins against top 25 opponents this year. One of the things that stands out, we talked about this even before talking to John Rittman, and then he even mentioned it, but they have just found ways to win, specifically early in the year when they might not have been playing their best ball. They found ways to win, and then entering this series, they've really been trending up.
It was the loss against Pitt, I think, that maybe was the pivotal moment for them. So 2 series ago, they went 2-1 in that Pitt series. And with that loss, they saw their potential hosting opportunities kind of go out the door because of that low-level loss.
It is smoked up the middle by Sarah Bro. And when you talk about Clemson coming on late, it has really come in the form of some of these bats heating up. Bro is one of them.
Bro definitely has been able to show up huge for them. Sitting down here in the middle bottom of the lineup, she's been putting the ball in play with a ton of power, as well as Corey Hicks, who sits right behind her to protect her here in the lineup.
Hicks leads the team with 11 home runs, as well as 38 RBIs. She is a sophomore from San Jose, California. First-year college starter, came over from Oklahoma. Played in 24 games last year for Patty Gasso. If you were a coach, would that impact your view of the transfer portal? Would you saw somebody who played it in Oklahoma or a UCLA or in Arizona, somewhere where you think, okay, they got good experience playing for a high-level coach. Would that impact you at all?
I think it definitely moves the needle.
Popped up on the infield. Oakland over for out number 1.
But when you see a player in the portal who has the experience that maybe didn't get the everyday name in the lineup, they still were trained by quality coaches. So by coming in, what that's given Hicks is an opportunity to be an everyday player and also now an everyday producer in a lineup and an everyday starter back behind the plate.
The batter for the Tigers, left fielder, number 3, Kylie Johnson.
Kylie Johnson, the left fielder, 1 for 2 yesterday, drove one of Clemson's 2 runs in and was hit by a pitch. Takes this inside pitch, foul.
Everybody clap your hands.
3rd year at Clemson for Kylie Johnson, 26 or more starts in every season. Hit just .215 a year ago, or excuse me, in the first 2 years combined. 1-1.
I mean, she's been able to bring power into this season. She has 2 home runs this year, but speed is the name of her game. 12 stolen bases. She can affect the defense if she can put this ball in play.
2-1.
And speed is one of those things that never slumps. Sometimes a bat can fall quiet or not be able to produce as consistently as you want, but those wheels, those are something that always affect the defense.
3-1, chance to put a pair on for Taylor Pipkins, who's been excellent as of late. They'll have a visit in the circle with Ava Bradshaw. Here's our next ESPN2 NWSL match. Angel City hosts Portland at BMO Stadium in LA. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6 Eastern. Also available on ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app.
I mean, you're a big soccer fan, Chucky. Before the game, we were watching some soccer here in the booth. Angel City unbeaten at home so far. Portland is in second place, but they're managing some key injuries, and I think that's going to play into how the way this game goes for them.
Did you play any soccer growing up?
I did. As an athlete, you play everything. Now, I got to a point where they run a lot. I'd rather just head 60 feet, turn left.
Ribbed, caught at short. Heads up base running by Bro to avoid being doubled up. So Johnson with a really nice at bat and good swing, but she's out.
I mean, if you don't have Jess Oakland in the exact spot, that ball is all the way to the wall. That ball was hit on the screws right at Jess Oakland at shortstop. She didn't even have to move.
Couple hard hit balls here. Sarah Bro went right up the middle for the leadoff single, and then Kylie Johnson with a line drive. Not much to show for it for Clemson, just the one runner on with 2 outs. Here is Taylor Pipkins, though. Sophomore from Cumming, Georgia. Pipkins 8 hits, 6 home runs in the 10 games leading up to this series. She had a 5-game home run streak that started in Game 2 at Virginia Tech and ran through the end of the Pitt series. Two-one.
When Pipkins was the ACC tournament MVP, she had the big go-ahead grand slam against Virginia to go to the semifinals. This is a player that in her freshman season set the bar very high and has 6 home runs in her last 10 games going into this weekend.
Back up the middle again. That went off the glove of Bradshaw. That is 2 hits now. Right back at Ava Bradshaw.
What that tells you is Bradshaw's leaving the ball big over the plate. And when you leave a ball big, you set yourself up for those balls right back up the middle. The ball is not moving a lot. That is right off of that glove side shoulder. Luckily, it caught enough leather to deflect it. Not hurt her too bad in the circle.
Back to the top of the order for Brockenbrough, who takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Brockenbrough saw just 1 pitch to lead off this game and grounded it right back at Bradshaw. Takes strike 1. At a 24-game reaching base streak end last night. 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts as she takes strike 2.
And this is another player coming over with Women's College World Series experience. She was a transfer last season coming over from Tennessee. And so as Brockenbrough entered the portal, John Rittman knew that that was going to be a quality pickup that could elevate this program.
Just reaches out and taps this into center field. The throw coming home is cut off. Clemson gets one back.
As a pitcher, you've got 3 different parts of your game: speed, spot, and spin. Right now, the speed seems to be hittable, and that ball off the plate, that's just a quality approach by Brockenbrough to hit a bad ball up the middle and play to run. But with that, Marissa Young has seen enough, and we're going to see a change in the circle.
Ava Bradshaw exits for Larissa Jaquez, a junior from Eagle Pass, Texas, and we will introduce her more in just a moment. 2 on, 2 outs for Jaquez.
When you get to a bullpen, sometimes that can give you the confidence to say, we got rid of the starter, let's go after the next, and that ball left big in the zone. When you leave a ball big here at the top of the lineup for Clemson, these are bats that are confident, and with that, plates 2 runs. Big inning, big comeback here in the top of the second.
Clemson has more than doubled their run total from last night when they were beaten 10-2 in 6 innings. Former and current pitchers watching turn away. 10 runs so far. Right side scooped up by Baker to end the inning. Duke won't blink. You know they've got one of the best offenses in the nation, but that is a big-time response from John Rittman and company. So much about has shown you they can handle the best pitching staff in the country.
Not only can they handle the best pitching staff, but the defense backs up the pitchers when they have those little hiccup moments, and Duke is rolling right now in all 3 phases of the game. Not only are the bats working, but the pitchers are giving the defense an opportunity to keep them in ball games.
11-7 against the top 25 as Clemson enters a new catcher into this game in the sophomore Sam Minish, replacing Corey Hicks. You saw that RPI. Duke is up to 11. It's not the only metric used, just one that can give you an idea of kind of where teams are. Duke would love to be in the top 8. Duke fans will remember a couple years ago in 2024 when they just missed that top 8, and so hosted regionals, but then had to go on the road to a series that you covered at Missouri, which was an excellent series. And Duke was able to advance to their first ever Women's College World Series.
And I think the piece of that series that stood out to me the most was Deanna Jennings. 2 home runs in that super regional, and it was enough to push them to Oklahoma City.
Jennings falls behind 1-2.
Prior to that super regional, I had not seen Jennings swing with a ton of confidence, just stand in the box and swing. She was more of a slap, a touch and go kind of hitter, but that power has translated and she has gained confidence through that. That moment has helped her be able to continue to swing with confidence when the slap game may not be there for her.
She set the single season program record with a .462 average as a freshman. It is in danger this year with Amina Vega where she is as Jennings goes down on strikes.
And that ball up in the zone is what the top of this lineup was showing a ton of patience on. They were being very disciplined on the ball up in the zone. And when you start your swing low and go to high like Jennings did there, you've only got 1 point of contact. If you miss that one slot, you're going to go down with a swing and miss.
One four-year starter to another here at Duke. Vega, fourth-year starter at second base. Takes outside 1-1.
It's a really good pitch that is definitely a ball and a good take by Vega. But that is the bread and butter pitch by Abby Dunning. She loves to be able to exploit that outside corner, and that spin is getting her some really good movement and arm side run.
Jumps ahead 1-2. This will be a really nice start to the second for Dunning. She can sit down Jennings and Vega in order.
She's brought this back to a 0-0 ball game. Her offense brought them back into this spot where they're able to find a way to be even. Wow, that is a beautiful pitch. Looking for the swing and miss. Got it in the previous pitch on that screwball outside. Bringing it just a tick off the plate to try to get another swing. That's a lot of movement on that pitch. Hard to lay off as a hitter.
That is bounced in.
Well, the smile gives away that she knew that she didn't get her hip out of the way, but it's all about a new catcher in the ballgame. Look, the way that she's moving. There's nobody on the base pass, but she's still working for her pitcher out there in the circle. That's a pretty pitch, Chucky. And I know that she wanted it too. She's got to find a way to get that outside corner called against those left-handed batters.
Stepping up to the plate, number 9.
That's just pretty. Try to wipe it out, move on to the next batter.
Nina Vega has walked 4 times in the series already. Had 1 hit last night. Now on the base pass for Jessica Oakland. Change up, strike 1.
That's the changeup she was trying to get on Vega. So she learned her lesson, got her hip out of the way, delivered a really pretty pitch bottom of the zone against another big hitter for Duke.
Same pitch, same result, 0-2 count.
And then it gets in your head as a batter. Are you gonna see it again? So now you've got to sit even in your stance. You can't really load big. You've got to be ready for the changeup, but you have to attack speed as well.
Outside on the 0-2, the throwdown not quite in time. Well, Jessica Oakland went from an all-conference player in her first 20 games this year to a National Player of the Year candidate in her last 20. These numbers over the last 20 games are hilarious.
It's the home run number and the RBI numbers that have helped her just be so important in this lineup. They knew that she was going to be a difference maker coming in, but had to sit out last year with the transfer rule. And not only did she have to sit out last year, but then got injured in the fall, which kind of gave her a slow start to the year this season. But as she has gained confidence in that injury, now swinging with a ton of power and confidence.
Good swing out to center field. Brockenbrough originally came in, but backtracks to make the catch, and there's 2 outs. If you just took those last 20 games for Oakland, you would, seriously, she would be in the conversation for National Player of the Year, arguably.
Most definitely, because she's hit so well here at the end of the season. But it's the beginning of the year where she was still getting her rhythm back. She hadn't been on the field in over a season, and so to be able to get that rhythm back and that confidence back took a little bit of time.
Dunning is loving the off speed to start off these batters. She did not get the strike call there. Falls behind Tyrena Jones 1-0. Jones misses that pitch, not the only record setter for a program last night. She broke the Duke single season home run record. Kendall Wells over at Oklahoma broke the Oklahoma single season home run record. She is now chasing the national record. Jones pops it up shallow left. Chanel takes care of it clean. Second inning, first one we've seen from either side for Abby Dunning.
no hits, score, 1 run left on base. 1.2 complete innings here at Smith Family Stadium. Your score, Clemson 5, Duke 5.
First inning. Big home run by Macy Cintron. It was a 2-run blast and put them up 2-0 over the Blue Devils. But Duke able to respond quickly. Layla Lamar sack fly, plated a run. Then very next batter, KK Mathis, a questionable ball down the line, plated a couple more, and then Gabby Shattuck, huge 2-run bomb. I mean, Duke responded so quickly. They put 5 up in the bottom of the first. In the second inning, Jamison Brockenbrough came up, big RBI hit, plated another one. Kylie Chanel able to come up and get a couple more across the board. It was a huge response by Clemson to be able to tie this ball game up. We sit at 5-5 now after just 2 innings of play.
They have looked like a different offense over the last 14 or 15 games. Cintron first pitch swinging, hit it well, but right at Jennings. Already big time improvement, Jenny, game 1 to game 2.
I think the big number for me is the 0 that we're seeing today. No strikeouts. They're putting the ball in play, hitting it very hard, being more disciplined at the plate, and allowing their bats to really show up today.
Marion Collins grounded out to first base. Her first trip to the plate takes strike 1 from Larissa Jaquez. Collins, the top returner for Clemson, hit .366 last year, 16 doubles, 11 home runs. The doubles are still up there. Has 11 of them on the season, but the home runs have fallen off a bit, just 5 so far. Tonight on ABC, it's game 4 between Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the Nuggets taking on Ant-Man and the Timberwolves at 8:30 Eastern. Minnesota leads the series 2-1. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq tip-off coverage at 8, and they'll be back at 11 Eastern to break down the game and the other 3 on the schedule. Back-to-back wins for Minnesota after losing game 1.
Well, and their glue guy is is hurt right now. Aaron Gordon for the Nuggets is that calm leader that they look to, and he's questionable going into tonight.
I see you going for the Arizona guy there in your comments.
Hey, Wildcats.
I'm really just impressed with the 41-year-old LeBron still dominating right now.
How in the world?
Ball too low to Marion Collins. Foul ball by Collins.
You mentioned a drop off by Collins in terms of her power numbers, but she's also increased her, or given her the team leading batting average. And so sometimes there's a trade-off when you go for a little bit more consistency. You take away some of that aggression in the box and those power numbers do fall off.
Clemson lost 3 of their top 4 bats from last year. 2 of those hit over 400 in Alex Brown and Maddie Moore. And Moore hit 17 home runs with 71 RBIs. It is hard to replace that level of production. Ripped into right field by Collins.
Last season, Clemson had 85 home runs. They lost 24 home runs to graduation. They lost 24 stolen bases and 139 RBI. So they had some work to do at the plate to be able to replace those big names and big bats that found themselves off the roster this year.
Strike one to Sarah Bro. Bro hitting .366 in the 11 games leading up to this series, and 7 home runs and 17 RBIs in those 11 games. Had a hit last night to extend her hit streak to 5. One, two.
I mean, you look at the way that Bro started the year and the way that she's been swinging it as of late. It's really impressive that she's been able to come in with the kind of production here at the end of the year, especially in those power numbers, because the RBI production is so important for them sitting down here in the bottom of the lineup.
2-2.
Sarah Bro has started the year as a DP, and that's a very difficult role, not only for anyone to step into it, but especially as a freshman coming into the collegiate ranks.
Fights off that pitch low. It's been Bro, it's Hicks, Cintron, Brockenbrough, who have kind of propelled this offense as of late.
And it's important to protect the strike zone. That one was not going to be a strike, but able to get enough of it to keep the at-bat alive.
Another foul ball.
They're just exploiting that outside down in the zone. That's not a power alley for a hitter. Typically, that's a ball that you're just trying to drive into the oppo gap. So when you're facing a hitter like Sarah Bro, who likes the ball middle, that down and away pitch is the place that you can kind of exploit a power bat.
Rips this to left field, and oh my goodness! What a catch out in left by Aaliyah Terrell. Now both runners are standing on the bases right now. I think that was a catch, and that is going to be the indication on the field.
Well, and when you get a pitch outside like this, you're typically told to let it travel deep and go the other way. But Terrell, a player who has only started 4 games coming into today, a little bit of a bobble, but it didn't touch the wall. So the juggle reined in, huge catch out there and left for a player getting a start on her senior day.
Unbelievable catch.
A little bit of confusion on whether the ball hit the wall and if that was going to allow Bro to stay at first, but good call by the umpire crew.
The snow cone that got dislodged and then caught again. Instead of Corey Hicks, it's Sam Minish, who replaced her defensively last inning. Swings through that for strike 1. Minish just 5 hits on the year and 25 at bats. Has also walked 9 times.
It's all about discipline up in the zone right now. If you can let that pitch go above the belt, it's not getting called a strike, and because of that, you're able to force Jaquez to bring the ball down into a much more hittable zone.
Another walk on the season for Minish, her 10th.
So important to be disciplined at the plate and not swing at what the pitcher is trying to get you to swing through. So while Minish does not have a ton of experience this season out there at the plate, she's doing a really good job of drawing the walk and being disciplined.
Mercy Young wants to talk to her junior pitcher, Jaquez. Marissa, of course, a great dual threat in her time at Michigan. Big Ten Pitcher of the Year in 2002, Big Ten Player of the Year in 2003 for Carol Hutchins.
And that was just a conversation talking mechanics. I think sometimes a visit to the circle can serve many different purposes. And in that situation right there, it was tweaking some mechanics to be able to be a little bit more efficient in her delivery. And who better to deliver that message than someone who's been in the circle at a high level herself.
Kylie Johnson lined out to Oakland at short. Her first trip to the plate, watches the first pitch outside. In the air, left field and foul territory, and caught by Terrell, who had a fantastic inning here in the third.
Well, and with the new left fielder coming in on senior day, she comes away with maybe the biggest catch of her career against the wall. Not only does she get that big catch, but she gets him out of the inning as well with the catch in foul territory.
Well, part of senior day, not just for the players, but also for the families here to support. Love the Cassidy Curd shirt in the stands. We've seen a few of these shirts for these senior players as their family members look on. And for some of these players, it goes way back to travel ball.
Yeah, they were able to play on the Lady Dukes together. So Amina Vega, Layla Lamar, and then those van rides in COVID, you notice the masks down around their chins. Ladies, you needed to comply, come on. But van rides to those games prior to being student athletes here at at Duke University. Just, this is a team that has relationships that go well beyond just their 4 years here. And with that, they've been able to step into really big roles early on and be just such an impact from their freshman seasons on.
Layla Lamar, who was pictured there with Amina Vega, not a senior, of course. And if you looked closely at Lamar's visor, that was not a Duke visor, that was a Florida visor where she spent last year.
And in that in that freshman season didn't get the kind of playing time that she wanted. With that, entered the portal and found an opportunity here to be a Blue Devil and has become an everyday starter out in right field, has been swinging the bat with a ton of confidence late here at the end of the regular season. And I know that allowed her head coach, Marissa Young, to be able to take a deep breath, because not only is she her head coach, but she's her mom as well.
Lifted to left center field, back at the track. Oh my goodness! Kylie Johnson with one of the catches of the year. Absolute denial in left field.
Talk about timing in your defense. Everybody practices catching the ball over the wall in practice, but when you have the moment to be able to jump over the wall, bring that ball back, fire me up, that's such a big play to keep Duke from gaining the advantage.
You'll see that one tonight on SportsCenter, no doubt.
And when we talked to Coach John Rittman about this ball club, he said there's 3 areas of the game. There's defense, there's offense, and there's pitching. He said in most of our outings this year, we haven't, in the beginning of the year, we weren't able to put all 3 of the components of the game together all at the same time. And that's where the losses came in. They would be good on defense and hitting, but maybe their pitching suffered. Or maybe their bats couldn't come alive after a really good pitching performance. Here today, the way this game started, I thought that we were going to have a Clemson advantage, but with the Duke response in the bottom of the first inning, I thought we were going to see more momentum on the Duke side. But the defense for Clemson is keeping them in this one.
KK Mathis had a 2 RBI single back in the first. Takes that pitch in the dirt, ball 3. Into left field again. Johnson being tested, not quite as much. 2 outs. Today, a couple of softball game 2s in both of these 3-game series. Number 16, Virginia Tech hosting North Carolina at Tech Softball Park in Blacksburg. That game at 3 Eastern. And then 13th ranked Florida State squaring off against Georgia Tech at Russ Chandler Stadium. The doubleheader over on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Duke will be rooting for Georgia Tech to claim an ACC regular season title outright, not have to share that with the Seminoles potentially.
I think it's really important for Florida State to win out to be able to get that share of the ACC regular season title. They stubbed their toe really big against Stanford, getting swept in that series out in California, and with that took away the chance for the #1 seeding, because when you look at the way that the tiebreaker goes, Duke will have the advantage if they end the regular season with the same record in ACC play.
There's 2 walk-off wins for Stanford over Florida State a couple weeks ago. Kind of heartbreaking for Lonnie Alameda and company.
Well, then
Dunning and Minish talking things over in the circle right now for Clemson. Here's what Clemson has put together so far this season. We talked about it, you know, when you felt like Clemson was having, what kind of year are they having a couple weeks ago when we had them against Virginia Tech? When you look at it, they just found ways to win early, and here they are, 23rd in the RPI. Their strength of schedule is in the top 20. They'd love to finish the regular season with a win or 2 over Duke.
I think it's really important for them to find a way to get a win off of Duke, because they sit kind of neck and neck with Virginia in the standings. So it's going to it's going to be up to them in this to take control of their future, to find a way to get a win, secure a different spot in the seeding for the ACC tournament. If anybody understands the importance of seeding, it's Clemson, as they've gone up against 2 eventual national champions and not been able to make it to OKC.
Great pitch by Dunning. So Clemson Duke tied at 5 apiece. John Rittman is coming up on the other side, and we might just have to ask him about Kylie Johnson, one of the best catches you will see all year. Welcome back to the ACC on ESPN. 5-5 through 3 between Clemson and Duke. We are joined by the Tigers head coach, John Rittman. Coach, we've seen that offense get going today early, but it's been a trend over the last couple of weeks for you guys picking it up offensively. What have you seen as a group that's led to that?
Well, I just think yesterday we got our butts whooped, and I felt like we played tired, swung the bat tired, and I just challenged them today to, let's play better. Let's swing the bat better. Let's pitch better. Let's play defense better. And then Abby comes out and struggles a little bit in the first inning, and then she gets it together. And we just said, hey, our offense is going to be better today. You got to give us a chance. And I love our at-bats. We're putting pressure on them defensively. We're getting some loud outs and getting some timely hits, and that's what it's all about against a very good Duke team.
Well, winning requires all 3 parts of the game to come together. Huge catch out and left by Kylie Johnson. I mean, what goes into that kind of defense for you?
Well, it's just a phenomenal player out there playing left field, and she does it all the time in practice. We work on it. I thought her timing was perfect on the leap, and it's a big play for us.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
He's right. You work on that catch as an outfielder every single day in practice, hoping for the one chance to be able to execute it in a ball game. And Kylie Johnson, he was right. Perfectly timed that. And then the next ball she got was deep to the wall again, found the wall, and then able to come back and make another nice catch. An impressive day for her out there and left for the junior.
You mentioned Abby Dunning settling into this game after the 5 runs in the first. And now part of that we talked about, they could have been out of that with just 1 had they caught a pop-up in foul territory that nobody got to. But since then, back-to-back zeros against this Duke offense for Dunning. Now the offense for Clemson has to find a way to get back in front. Taylor Pipkin singled and scored back in the second. Falls behind 0-2. Game 3 of this series tomorrow at 5 Eastern. This is lifted into foul territory and out of play. And we'll see if it's a chance for Duke to go to this for the sweep and have Cassidy Curd start Game 3, or if it's a rubber match. It's a pretty good one to have out there with you, and Jayla Wright too.
Yeah, those two were battery mates in 2024, the duo that took them to OKC.
Jayla Wright will step on this field again this summer as a player for the Carolina Blaze in the AUSL. We will call this part of the country home. And it's down low, ball 4. Tonight on ABC, Game 4 between the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Big response from the T-Wolves after losing Game 1. They lead the series 2-1. A game at 8:30 Eastern. Coverage starts at 8 with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq, and then they'll be back at 11 Eastern to break that game down in the other 3 on the schedule. Pipkins walks now with a 17-9 walk to strikeout ratio, one of the best on Clemson. Has reached in both at bats today. Turns it over to Jamison Brockenbrough, who will likely see a new pitcher. Well, Jamison Brockenbrough, if the grounds crew here needs any help, she can hop on a mower for him. Had a summer internship at Clemson with their grounds crew and did quite the job.
Yeah, you got a little view of what she did. She was able to work on her own field, get a little dirty all summer long. There were some hiccups, though, too, during the year. A little mower incident where she got wrapped up in a chain. But Coach, I mean, you got to be careful when you're mowing. You got to be aware of where you're at. That road is probably open now with the chain wrapped around the mower blade. But Coach talks about how Brockenbrough is more comfortable sitting on a tractor than anywhere else.
Senior from Locust Grove, Georgia, spent 2 years in Tennessee, and she will be the first to face off with Duke's new pitcher, Mallory Wheeler, making her 27th appearance of the season. Now her 18th in relief, a sophomore from Jensen Beach, Florida. Her last couple ACC appearances has struggled a little bit. 6 innings, 11 hits, and 8 earned. So trying to bounce back here against an ACC team in Clemson.
I think the reason you see the ball being given to Mallory Wheeler, she has a very different arsenal. And with that, she keeps the ball low in the zone. Most of the time, she does go up with the rise and the screw, but it's the changeup that can really be a difference maker for her. She mixes speeds, keeps hitters off balance, but she has to make sure that she keeps her attention on not throwing through her spin and allow this ball to move.
One on, nobody out for Jamison Brockenbrough in the top of this order. Career year for Brockenbrough. Average, doubles, home runs, RBIs, and walks, among other stats, have all been career best. So she chops at that. And Pipkins is going to take second base.
Always hungry for 60 additional feet, and that's the piece that Pipkins gives you in that number 9 spot in the lineup. She gives you speed, and when she gets on, they're going to challenge her leaving early, I think, over there at first base.
Duke is challenging that the runner at first left early. Ruling on the field is she did not leave early. This play is under further review.
So you need to make sure that you have contact with the bag until the pitcher releases the ball. That's pretty good timing. She did leave just a tick early. I don't know if that'll get called, but typically as a shortstop, you understand the timings of what it takes to cover and to catch and tag. But I think that's a pretty good leave of the bag over there at first base.
The go-ahead run stands on second, but here comes the call.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. She did not leave early. This will be Duke's first charge challenge.
Fourth stolen base of the year for Taylor Pipkins in 5 chances. Both teams now with 1 challenge remaining. And the umpires can take a look at whatever they want after the 6th inning. Once we reach the 6th inning, I should say, as that's fouled into the Clemson dugout by Brockenbrough.
So both coaches start the game with 2 challenges apiece. If they are successful in their challenge, they retain the challenge. But with that loss, meaning Marissa Young was not successful in that challenge, she does lose that challenge and is down to 1.
This is into center field. There was a little hesitation by Pipkins, ensuring that went by, but this is going to roll off to the side, and Pipkins will score. And now Brockenbrough into third. She was ready to get up and come home, but John Rittman said, hold on a second.
Speed changes ball games because it puts pressure on the defense to be able to execute perfectly. Great hit up the middle, but it was a hesitation by Pipkins at second as she allowed that ball on a line to get through, but nobody's covering home. So by that, it gives everybody a chance to advance. Great throw home, deflected by the cut, and then with the relief of home plate, it's an easy score.
Stepping in for Clemson, number 2, Kylie Chanel.
Now Kylie Chanel. That's a tough spot here for Mallory Wheeler. Chanel takes strike 1. She has walked, and she has driven in a pair with a double. She has seen all 3 pitchers that Duke has put in the circle so far. To left field down the line, running grab over there in foul territory, but will allow for Brockenbrough to score easily. So job done for Chanel. Clemson's up 2.
I mean, that's a situation with a ball deep to left like that. Do you want to take a chance and give Chanel another opportunity to swing, or do you catch this knowing that it's going to be an easy sac fly advancement to put another run on the board? I mean, out there and left, Terrell made the decision to catch it, but it was trading it out for a run.
That's something that's discussed ahead of time, or how much she prepped for that?
We've talked about it already. Terrell is not your everyday starter out there and left, so when a ball goes in the air, typically you do like to make that catch.
Interesting too when you have the lineup Duke has. So you say, well, we'll take the out because we believe we can score a few more.
They can. However, Duke has been quiet since the first inning, and so with that, Clemson's had the advantage. I've been impressed with the way that Clemson came out today. Coach Rittman discussed it in his in-game interview about how he challenged them to come out different today, to put the bat in on the ball a little bit more, be more productive at the plate. And with that, they got to the bullpen. This is the 3rd pitcher for Duke, and Clemson finds themselves consistently putting runs on the board.
What are you guys talking about?
2 away from Macy Cintron against Wheeler.
You can, Mel, you can! Come on, Mel.
7-5 lead, 7-3 in the hit column. one to Cintron.
This is just a hitter you have to be careful around. Cintron's already got a 2-run home run on the day, hit that back in the first inning, and so you have to dance around the zone. With the bases open, go ahead and just continue to find yourself off the plate. I think that's a really good walk in that situation, knowing that you don't want one swing to change the scoreboard anymore.
The batter with number 5, Marion Collins.
Cintron aboard with 2 outs for Marion Collins. Sophomore from Marietta, Georgia. Collins has back-to-back 50-hit seasons to start her career. She's had at least 11 doubles in both seasons and at least 30 RBIs. Inside corner, strike 1.
You've got to challenge these hitters on the inside part of the plate, and I love that Wheeler trusts herself enough to be able to go glove side and get that run down at the knees.
Two one.
I think this is a good call by the umpire. It did get inside in the river, not a strike.
Same spot.
If not inside a little bit more, and now you're in dangerous territory, because if you allow that ball to continue to go further and further inside, you run the risk of hitting the batter. So you've got to show a lot of control over that pitch to the glove side.
There is strike 2. It's a full count. This is a big at-bat here with one of Clemson's best power hitters standing on deck, who's been really hot lately in Sarah Bro. Big swing and a miss. Wheeler closes the door, but Clemson gets 2. 7-5, the Tigers lead. We'll talk to Duke head coach Marissa Young on the other side. Welcome back to the ACC on ESPN. Duke trailing Clemson by 2 as this game moves along to the bottom of the 4th. We're joined by Duke head coach Marissa Young. Coach, we saw some of your leaders stepping up in the huddle there, delivering a message to the team. Curious if you could share what you heard.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that they stop the momentum from last inning, don't allow that to roll over, trust themselves, and continue to have good at-bats like they had the last inning.
Well, we've seen that your team definitely knows how to hit, but they've been quiet the last little bit. What adjustments do you need them to make at the plate?
Just continue to trust themselves and hit strikes that she puts in the zone.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Abby Dunning gave up 5 in the first, but you said it, Jenny. A few zeros here, a couple zeros in a row here Trying to make it 3 straight. Duke has just 3 hits in this game.
And it's almost like we flipped the script from last night. Last night, Duke had 10 hits, Clemson had 4. Today, we're looking at 7 hits for Clemson and 3 for Duke. So the Duke bats being quiet, definitely not what we're expecting. What we were expecting heading into today.
It is not Jada Baker coming to the plate. It's Kyrie Rodriguez, redshirt junior from West Palm Beach, Florida. Has done a lot of the catching the last couple of years. Missed the 2024 season with injury. And she pinch hits here. She takes ball 1 inside.
One thing that Marissa Young tends to do halfway point of many ball games is make some defensive changes, change to the lineup as well to put in some different bats. And that's what happens here at the bottom of the lineup here in the 4th.
There's a base hit. Job done for Kyrie Rodriguez. Well, Jenny, our game tomorrow is at 5 Eastern, so I know what you're doing tomorrow morning. The second FA Cup semifinal match of the weekend right here on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. Chelsea against Leeds at Wembley. Coverage begins at 9:30 Eastern with a 10 a.m. kickoff. Chelsea just fired one of their second manager of the season.
And they've made 2 major coaching changes, and Leeds has had Daniel Farka at the helm since July of 2023. The coaching changes in that league are kind of crazy to me.
Not for the faint of heart.
Can you imagine if that's what ACC softball and that scene looked like here? Just mid-season changes all year long, working on your 3rd manager. I mean, the portal has opened up so many things, but that's usually in the off season. Can you imagine if we were doing mid-year changes at the helm?
No worries for these 2 coaches.
No.
Hit for Rodriguez in as many at-bats this week. And Jada Baker will return to this game to run over at first base. So now down in the 9-hole, Aaliyah Terrell, who has really made her impact defensively for Duke, out in left field, slaps that foul.
When we talked to Marissa Young about the changes that she does make in the box defensively, she said, we have so many quality athletes on our bench. We feel like it's important for us to be able to use them to gain the advantage when we take the field.
Bunt laid down. The play is at first. Job done for Terrell.
All about moving the runner, putting them in scoring position, putting the pressure on the defense. Now you got speed over there at second base. Just 2 bags away from being able to do some stuff with the top of the lineup coming up that swings not only some really potent bats, but Jennings at the plate has speed of her own.
3rd time through for Abby Dunning. The top 2 in this order, Jennings and Vega, are 0 for 1 with 3 walks. Jennings into left center field. Brockenbrough takes charge. Delivers a strong throw to 3rd, 2 outs.
While that was a good poke to the outfield, it actually wasn't a great productive at bat because it's just another out and you leave your runner stranded out there at second base.
Vega 1 for 2 in the series with 4 walks and 2 runs scored. Takes ball 1 outside.
70-mile-an-hour screwball is so hard for a hitter to catch up to, especially from the left side. That's not a pitch that you're going to be able to drive with a ton of authority, especially as it flies off the corner of the plate.
1-1. Did you have an actual favorite pitch? Do you have, like, if you look back on your career, you think, I probably hit this pitch better than most?
I think you're, as a hitter, you're just trying to hit mistakes. And so with all the technology that comes into the way that these teams prepare to play now, you're able to actually go in knowing exactly what every pitcher throws and watch those pitches in succession to be prepared.
There's that changeup for strike 2.
And the changeup is the difference maker. If you can sit and be balanced in your stance at a changeup, you're going to be able to be so good across the board. But when you sit with less than 2 strikes, that is typically the pitch that you leave, hoping that you get a pitch with velocity in your next one to be able to drive.
2-2.
And impressed with the way that Minish has been able to come in back behind the plate and handle that rise ball coming out of the hand of Dunning. It's hard to get out of your legs sometimes when that ball continues to rise with a ton of velocity coming out of the circle.
The old lefty catcher. Seen that reaction from Abby Dunning a few times. She has not hidden her emotions.
And is she telling her shortstop how many times she thinks that the home plate umpire has missed that pitch or missed that call? She's trying to exploit that outside corner.
This is into left field, base hit. The throw home, oh wow! On the money! Kylie Johnson is putting on a show out in left field.
How do you play the outfield the right way? Well, you better just put this one on a reel, because that is an aggressive attack of the ball with a beautiful throw coming home. Kylie Johnson, player of the game right now defensively for Clemson.
The catcher, Minish, was in a position of obstruction at the plate, and it was reviewed and revealed that she was not. And the key component here, and the umpire gave a great explanation, is that her positioning had no effect on the result of that play. The runner would have been out regardless of where Minish was.
And while she did set herself up in front of the plate, she did leave a lane, but the ball got to Minish with enough time to be able to absolutely nail Baker trying to advance home. I mean, that was just a phenomenal play by the left fielder, Kylie Johnson, to get that out.
This is the obstruction rule. You see, while not in possession of the ball, blocks any part of the leading edge of first, second, or third or home. So, to your point, Jenny, she kind of was blocking the leading edge of home plate. But in the rule book, this is straight out of the rule book, if the base runner would have been out regardless of the defensive player's movement or positioning, the runner would remain out in that case, which I think we could see.
Yeah, and the ball definitely beat Baker to the plate, and with that, she is out. The inning is over. They flip things over, and another 0 on the board for Duke.
this is what you've worked for your whole life. It's a one and done, so you got to bring your A game, and you're going home if you don't.
Must watch softball.
Welcome to ACC play, baby. Let's go.
Heading to Charlottesville, May 6th through the 9th, the ACC softball tournament. We have so many stars that will be on display and a chance to really vault yourself into regionals, supers, and maybe onto the Women's College World Series.
And right now, this game is so pivotal to that ACC tournament because if Duke does lose this game, it opens the door for Florida State here at the end of the year to be able to find its way into a #1 seeding. Duke needs to win out to secure that #1 spot in the tournament seedings. And so there is a lot on the line right here today with just a couple of innings left to play.
When we had Florida State a week ago, there was more of a question mark around the Seminoles placing when it comes to the top 16 than I feel like there is with Duke right now. But it's been a good week for Florida State. A win over Florida midweek will not hurt you in that case.
No, and Issa Torres, 2 home runs. She led off the game with a home run after Shoemaker had led off the game for Florida with a home run. Issa Torres is unbelievable this season, chasing that season batting average record, just a couple of points away.
2-2, ground ball, backhander knocked down, but Bro will reach.
Amina Vega, probably the best second baseman in the game right now, especially of seniors across the country. And as she goes after this ball, I thought there was a chance that she was going to be able to not only glove it, but get the out as well. But it hit off the heel. That last hop went a little bit higher than she anticipated. And with that, not able to get the out at first base.
They'll run for Bro over at first. There's Kennedy Ariel, a junior from Cumming, Georgia. In her primary role this year. Nobody out, and yet again, Clemson off to a good start here in an inning. They scored 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the fourth, and still Duke. There are 5 runs all coming back in the first inning.
Coach John Rittman challenged this team today to show up different, and they definitely have as they continue to put pressure on this Duke defense and the circle.
Second chance for Sam Minish, who just tapped that foul for strike 1.
And she was trying to lay off of that, but it left the barrel open enough to be able to have it nip it. That's one of those situations where you get really frustrated as a hitter because you're sitting in a 2-0 count thinking that you've got so much control over the at-bat, and then you get that strike.
3-1. One plus for Wheeler so far, 2 hits, a run that was not earned. This is hard hit at Vegas. Quick turn to first. Not in time for the double play.
And that's a veteran play over there at second base. It could have been an easy grab of the out at first, but with the drop step move and the turn, it's a great feed for her shortstop, Jess Oakland, to try to get that double play. Man, that's great footwork by the second baseman.
Kylie Johnson has been the human highlight reel in left field today with the glove, robbing a home run, throwing a runner out at home. Now trying to make her impact with the bat. She is 0 for 2, a line out and a fly out, both to the left side. Falls behind 0-2.
And that's that pitch that you need to let go by. Even if it's going to be a strike, you're not putting yourself in a position to be able to drop that drag bunt effectively. Tried to get out of the way, but could not do so. It's another strike. A little frustration by Coach Rittman down there at third base.
Were you a good bunter?
I was a great fake bunter to move hitters or move runners into position to hit them in. Coach Candrea was notorious for the double steal, so I'd be up with the runners at first and second. I would drop a fake drag, which would pull your third baseman in, and then it would be a double steal of our base runners, and that's where my RBI really took off.
That's why the record's yours. Oh, got her on the heel of her front foot.
So while Coach Rittman couldn't put short game in play, he still is able to move the runners, with Wheeler losing a little bit of control in that pitch, and that's going to get her a visit from Marissa Young.
Kylie Johnson had been hit by one pitch coming into this series. She has been hit by a pitch in each of the first 2 games.
And I don't think that has anything to do with her positioning in the box. I think that's literally just control by the pitchers for Duke.
Game 3 tomorrow, 5 Eastern on the ACC Network. And that's it for these 2 teams. As we mentioned right off the top of our show, a lot of teams finish up the regular season next week, and then we go right into conference tournaments, into Selection Sunday. But for these teams, tomorrow is it for the regular season. Clemson trying to just jostle for position in the ACC tournament. Duke, they want the #1 seed, but they need to win both of these games to guarantee that it's theirs.
Yeah, Florida State, who they are looking at the top of the standings with, still have this weekend and next weekend of regular season play. Duke, this is it for them. So they've got to be able to secure the sweep to solidify that #1 seed.
We will head off to Boston College next weekend, where we will see Florida State. Seminoles playing Georgia Tech this weekend, but there's some weather issues in the Atlanta area, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. 0-2 to Pipkins, swing and a miss. Wheeler needed it. There's 2 outs.
That is a huge pitch for Wheeler, who allowed the pitch to get away from her, hit the previous batter, and then gets that beautiful swing and miss. Outside corner. So hard to attack the outside pitch that's down and away. The #9 batter goes down via the strikeout.
Inside, another hit batter. Brockenbrough is on and loads the bases.
And a look of frustration by Wheeler looking at the dugout.
That's going to do it for Mallory Wheeler, and on senior day, we will see the 7th senior for Duke. We've seen the others. Now Cassidy Curd enters with the bases loaded and 2 outs. half the game has left runners on that they were responsible for. And to this point, at least one of those runs have come in for all of those pitchers. So Cassidy Curd has that task to try to overcome here. She was excellent in game one. As you see the childhood photo of Cassidy Curd. Yesterday, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts. That's the Cassidy Curd that can take Duke to the next level.
It is. We've seen her strikeout numbers down a little bit this year and her free passes up, but she has just been outstanding in this, her senior campaign. We see her in better physical form to be able to take on the challenge of this year, and she is going to come in with a ton of balls up in the zone, typically using the curve and the rise. Wants you to chase that rise, but you've got to be ready for up in the zone.
There is too far up in the zone, ball one. This is her 30th appearance of the season, only her 8th in relief.
This is your usual starter. I would anticipate that we will see her again tomorrow, but by Cassidy Curd entering the game here, it shows you how important this game is.
Chanel takes a strike, 1-1 count. An opportunity that, if not taken, Clemson would look back on at the end of this game if they come up empty-handed. Chanel shows the bunt with 2 outs and the bases loaded, trying to catch the Blue Devils off guard.
Not just the bunt, Chucky. That was an absolute squeeze play put on by Coach John Rittman. Your job in that situation is to put a bat on every single pitch coming in and make sure you stay on top of it. Even if you foul it off, you protect that runner over there at third.
1-2 from Curd, bases loaded. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Chanel comes through, and 2 runs will score for Clemson.
I mean, this is an impressive day for Kylie Chanel at the plate today, Chucky. Drew the walk in the first inning. Big 2 RBI hit in the second, sac fly in the fourth, and here another 2-run hit right back up the middle. Pivotal moment for Clemson, and they capitalize against the ace in the circle.
Just her 17th and 18th RBIs of the season, but a couple big ones to extend this lead to 4. They have scored multiple runs in 4 of the 5 innings they have come to the plate. Up and away to the dangerous freshman Mac Pavesi, who is 0 for 3 today. Foul ball.
And it's so important for Pavesi to step in and see good pitches, because yesterday she was the one that had the most impact off the glove of Jennings in center. Ball left the yard, and that was really the only runs we saw put up for Clemson yesterday. When you attack a rise ball pitcher, you have to make sure that your hands and your barrel, meaning your knob and your barrel, stay above the ball on your approach. So as Curd continues to try to exploit the top of the zone, as a hitter, you have to stay on top, knowing that she will gain the advantage if you allow that barrel to fall below on your swing.
Another foul ball. Pavesi, it's that first experience for college softball. It's the grind of the season that we see across the country. She's had some ups and downs, had just 3 hits in 6 games against Florida State and Virginia Tech, but these last couple weekends, 7 hits, starting to pick it back up again as a true freshman. That's been a big leader in this lineup, but takes strike 3 as Curd is able to strand a pair. Not before the Tigers get 2 more. Fantastic game 2 in Durham. 9-5, Clemson leads it. Here's how we got here today. Timely hitting for the Clemson Tigers, a big part of it. 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Those 5 earned runs for Abby Dunning all came in the first, so she has really settled in. 5 RBIs for Chanel. That ties a career high. And for Duke, they're just looking for somebody in the circle to take charge of this game.
Yeah, they've thrown a lot of arms, and Clemson has put up runs in all but 1 inning of this ball game, and all of them have been crooked numbers. So with John Rittman's challenge to his team to show up differently today, they took that challenge and have been able to put up a ton of runs today.
Abby Dunning, after the first inning, has gone 3 full innings, given up just 2 hits, a walk, and has struck out 2. She's been good as of late, but it's been in smaller sample sizes. 2 innings a couple times, 3 innings once, as Minish hops up quickly and makes the catch. It's Jessica Oakland, they just retired.
And it was a foul ball in a similar area that was the difference in the first inning. Duke almost did not get a chance to put up that 5 spot because of that. And it was a change at the catcher position. Now Sam Minish back behind the dish. It's a nice first out here in this inning.
This is into center field. Brockenbrough under it. 2 outs. I mean, these are huge outs, Jenny, because you're at a point now in this game where you don't necessarily have to see Jessica Oakland or Tyrena Jones again.
You're right, and these are the biggest bats in the lineup for Duke that have been quiet today. They 2 through 4 in the lineup have put 2 hits up. However, they haven't been able to score any runs, and with that, that's a huge accomplishment for Abby Dunning in the circle.
With regards to the #1 seed in the ACC tournament and even an outright championship, the door is ajar right now, and Florida State is peeking in. Clemson could do them a big favor if they can win this game.
And when you think about it, Clemson is not in the running to even get a first-round bye at the ACC tournament. They're far enough down in the standings that they cannot get themselves that first-round bye. But what they can do is be a spoiler to Duke. And I think that was the challenge that John Rittman gave them today. Like, don't roll over. This may be the last games of our regular season, but I need you to show up differently. Set the tone for what we're going to look like, not only at the tournament, but through the postseason.
1-2 to Lamar, into left field, and just beyond the glove of Johnson. She has caught everything else as that double from Layla Lamar ties a single-season Duke record for the team.
This is a team that has loved to hit for extra bases, and with that, Layla Lamar outside, up in the zone, didn't get a huge swing on it, but connected it just the right spot beyond the dive of Kylie Johnson out there and left, and ties the single-season doubles record here at Duke.
KK Mathis takes strike 1.
Blue Devils is number 27, KK Mathis.
Mathis drove in 2 with a single down the left field line, the one that danced right over the third base bag. Homered yesterday, so 5 RBIs in the series for Mathis so far. Changeup gets away from Dunning.
I think it's important to mention that KK Mathis sits in the DP role. That's maybe the hardest role of any hitter to have to execute in, because you sit on the bench watching defensively and all you get to do is wait for your next AB. And as she waits, she takes the information. She's learning from the other at-bats that are happening, and she has been so productive here at the end of the season. It's a role that Coach Marissa Young says she is comfortable in, and she's just got that clutch factor.
3-2. skied out to left for Johnson. That'll do it. Abby Dunning has put up 4 straight zeros against one of the nation's best lineups.
Exclusively on ESPN, 40-plus NCAA championships. Confetti rains. Nets are cut. Joy erupts. Hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
Well, after the first inning and a half, we thought in honor of the NFL draft this weekend, we were going to play this to an NFL score, but things have somewhat settled in, especially for Abby Dunning in the circle. It's a beautiful day here in Durham. Expecting some rain maybe tonight into tomorrow morning, but fans came out in waves last night and tonight. We expect more tomorrow at 5 Eastern.
He's got to rest up. I mean, this is a big series.
We're back from commercial. Wake up. Cintron Collins Bro due up for Clemson here in the 6th inning. The Tigers trying to pick up what would be a statement win and arguably one of their best of the year. Like we said, it's unlikely that Clemson would host. They're not out of it. And you saw what they did last year at the ACC tournament. If John Rittman and company can win this one, maybe win tomorrow, who knows what they can do in the ACC tournament, and then you could put some pressure on the committee to sneak into that top 16.
And to be able to find a way to get these high quality wins at the end of the season, that's what you're trying to show. The trend toward excellence at the end of the year. It's great to win the big ball game at the beginning of the season, but Clemson right now is really starting to click on all cylinders and find ways to be productive against a very good Duke team.
Out straight back by Cintron. From an offensive perspective, I mentioned earlier the 13 games leading up to this, they were averaging over 6.5 runs per game. They'd hit 27 home runs, which was half their season total. The first 35 games of the year, they hit 29 home runs and 5 runs per game. That's the big number, is the 1.5 runs per game more in these last couple weeks.
It's just figuring out the secret sauce, being able to gel as a team, put all 3 aspects of the game together. Last year, they went into Texas Super Regional, could not find a way to come out of that, but Coach Rittman says they were 1 out, 1 run away from being able to advance to Oklahoma City, but Texas was the eventual national champion.
Our next ESPN2 NWSL match, Angel City and Portland at BMO Stadium in LA. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6 Eastern, also available on ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. We had field hockey going on behind us. I think it was an exhibition game with the Duke women's team.
I have actually sat and watched that for a minute. I don't know that I've ever seen a complete field hockey game, but that goalie was just taking abuse as they were squaring off against, warming up. I was impressed with the way that, I mean, that's kind of like what a third baseman does for us over there on the hot corner, but with a lot less protective gear.
Cintron walked. We are waiting to make a change here to run for her. Ava Wilson, sophomore from Georgia, will run. Clemson knows how valuable every single run is against this Duke team, who has had some very impressive comebacks this year.
This Duke team is not out of it. You cannot expect that they're going to just roll over. The bats that they have are strong and confident. However, they've been pretty quiet here in this matchup here today.
Six hits in the game for Duke. 3 of them have come in the last 2 innings, but they haven't been able to score. This is lifted to deep center field. No doubt about it. Marion Collins got every bit of that ball. Her 6th home run of the season.
When Chucky, you talked earlier in this ballgame about how Marion Collins' power numbers are down this year. Her home runs half of what they were a season ago. But when we talk about how this Clemson ball club is starting to figure things out offensively, Marion Collins is another key in this lineup that as she continues to figure things out, she leads the team in average, but now those power numbers are starting to go up.
That will run Cassidy Curd from the game, now with Duke trailing by 6, maybe trying to get her out and keep her fresh for game 3 tomorrow. So Ava Bradshaw back in, and we will step away.
Now the circle for the Duke Blue Devils right here, number 6, Ava Bradshaw.
The Duke starter, Ava Bradshaw, is back. 1 2/3, 4 hits, 5 earned, a walk, and no strikeouts in 35 pitches earlier in this game, and now enters here with nobody out, nobody on in the 6th, and they are trying to avoid a situation that they were on the right side of last night, which was a 6-inning run rule, and there's still a few runs to go, a couple runs to go, I should say. There's out number 1.
And I appreciate aggression early in an at-bat when you're facing a new pitcher in the circle. However, you've got to make sure you've got your timing down and you're ready to go. Sarah Bro is a freshman for this Clemson ball club, and it's so important to make sure that you learn those lessons now, because in the postseason they are not as forgiving.
Minish has had a very good impact on this game since entering. Has walked and reached on a fielder's choice, scored a run, but made a nice catch behind the plate in foul territory. 1-1 count from Bradshaw. Two and 1. Clemson has drawn 5 walks today. They've been hit by 2 pitches, so 7 free passes and 10 hits to get to this 11-run mark, as well as an error by Duke that allowed a run to score. This is just lofted out into center field. One out base hit for Minish.
Sometimes getting all of the barrel is actually what you don't want, because if she was able to square that one completely up, she would have just nailed that right to Jennings out in center. But a soft little line drive puts her on.
Oklahoma, Georgia coming up next on ESPN2. The home run chase continues for Kendall Wells. We will keep you updated on exactly where that game will be starting. It's set to start at 2:30 Eastern. This is lifted to center field. Another no-doubter, and Clemson is trying to get this one over with quickly. That's Kylie Johnson, who's having one of the best days of the season for herself.
I mean, Kylie Johnson at the end of the year, I think this is her favorite time of the year, because last year at the end of the year, she had a 2-run home run against Florida State in the championship game to win the title. She hit a grand slam against Pitt in game 2. And now coming away with another big home run. Deanna Jennings didn't even try to go back on that. She turned around and threw her hands up in the air. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Kylie Johnson, huge home run, 3rd of the year.
Said it once, but Clemson is potentially 3 outs away from a really big twist in the tail of the ACC title chase. This has been a series that Duke has had a ton of success in. They're 14-3, or excuse me, 14-4 against Clemson all time. Swing and a miss by Pipkins.
When you talk about the way that these two programs have been able to step into the ACC and been not just ACC contenders, but national contenders every year, trying to not just emerge quick, short, but come off powerful. And Duke pitching staff right now having a really hard time trying to figure out how to get Clemson out as they continue to put crooked numbers up in this game.
5 of 6 innings that Clemson has come to the plate, they have put up at least 2 runs. This is the biggest one yet with 4. 13 ties the most runs in a game for Clemson this year. So interesting when you think about a team that Duke just beat 10 days ago in Tennessee. We had Tennessee a few weeks ago. We talked about them. They've got the pitching staff. The question is offense. For Duke, the question is, do they have enough with this pitching staff to get them through the postseason? Certainly the offense is there, but they've got to get something figured out in the circle.
I think you always have a chance when you've got Cassidy Curd, and so with her short appearance here in this ball game, in game 2 this weekend, I think what they were doing is saving her for tomorrow, because she's going to have to be their starter and try to go to the distance for them tomorrow. But the rest of this pitching staff continues to be baffled by this Clemson offense here today.
And they've all had their moments. They've shown that they can get it done. We talked about Bradshaw when she first started this game, what she had done in her last 16 innings, had just a 2.18 ERA. Jaquez had had a few nice appearances in the last week or so. And then Curd, game 1 of this series and the win over Tennessee.
And I think what you're seeing is there's not enough of a difference in the looks that the Duke pitching staff has that they put in the circle. 2 years ago in 2024, when they went to the Women's College World Series, they combined Jayla Wright, a down ball pitcher, with Cassidy Curd, who is an up ball pitcher. And those two back-to-back were very, very difficult for offenses to attack. But now this season, many of the arms coming out of the circle for Duke have similar profiles, and because of that, it's easier to prepare for their circle, knowing that the ball is going to be east, west, and north. Not a lot of down ball pitchers in the lineup or in the circle for Duke.
It'll be 7-8-9 for the Blue Devils that'll try to keep this game alive in the bottom of the inning as Chanel takes outside. A walk, a double, a sac fly, and a single. 5 total RBIs. Ground ball left side, caught right on the line, and a strong throw across by Jones ends the top of the 6th. Run rule territory for Clemson on what has been a record-setting day. 13 runs, their most in a game versus Duke in program history. Thanks, Alyssa. A lot more big moments coming up for Kendall Wells, who is chasing one of your former teammates for the home run record.
What a privilege it was to hit right in front of Laura Espinosa. She actually protected me, which was amazing because how do you throw around me to get to her? So I got a lot better pitches because Laura Espinosa was leading the country in home runs.
You know what else I'm hearing? You don't have to run very hard around the bases
Not
too
very
often.
often.
One, because you hit it out a ton, and then she hit it out a ton.
Nope, got to stand at home plate and congratulate her on a lot of big hits. She was phenomenal in her career at Arizona.
7-8-9 for Duke. Shattuck leads it off, had a 2-run home run in the first. And that was the last time Duke scored. She was the 5th run in this game back in that first inning for the Blue Devils. This has been one of the best performances for Dunning, as this one is lifted to deep center right on cue, and for the 2nd time in the game, Shattuck goes yard. That is the first blemish for Dunning in the last 5 innings now.
And that's the kind of response you want to see in a team that's trying to do big things at the end of the year. I mean, Shattuck coming in, it's a changeup. So she has to supply all the power. Shattuck has to be the one. Not only does she have to get on time, but she's got to make sure that she supplies the right kind of swing out there off of the platform. Huge home run. And Duke making some noise here at the end of the game.
Shattuck keeps them alive and makes sure we will play a 7th inning. I would still say the last 4+ for Abby Dunning, given the lineup she's faced. This is arguably, and again, you take out the first inning, but one of her best performances of the season, showing what she's capable of. Now facing a pinch hitter in Jayla Stafford, a true freshman from San Diego, California. She rips it up the middle, right in the middle of the Duke logo.
And she's done such a good job up until this point. I mean, it was a rocky first inning for her. 5 runs put up that inning, but I would say it was a miscue defensively that allowed 4 additional runs to go up on the board. I was expecting a 2-1 end of the first, but then since that point, she's been able to keep the bats for Duke very quiet. But I think we're going to see a pitching change.
Clemson needs 6 outs with a 7-run lead to force a rubber match tomorrow. Problem with Duke is, we talked about the come from behind wins. They trailed 14-8 going to the bottom of the 7th against Stanford in game 3 on this field. They won 17-4. 9 7-run innings to win that game. They are more than capable, especially with 2 innings left.
They are, and with the pitching change, we'll see the departure of Abby Dunning, who after a rocky first inning, settled in nicely. Duke not wanting to end this game quietly or via the run rule. Back-to-back big hits to keep this game going.
Well, we mentioned earlier, Jayla Wright, one of Duke's assistant coaches, will be playing for the Carolina Blaze on this field, one of the AUSL's 6 teams in year number 2. We've seen some incredible moments all the way across the country with the golden tickets yet again. The draft coming up on May 4th. It'll be on ESPN2. She'll find out who some of her teammates will be. There's actually 2 former Duke Blue Devils and a couple Clemson players who will be on the Carolina Blaze as you look at the golden ticket recipients so far, and these are some of the most notable players in the college game right now.
If you pay attention, there's 1 more golden ticket to go out today somewhere in the country, so keep your eyes peeled to figure out if there's any special guests that are in attendance, knowing that there is 1 more golden ticket to go out, and at the end of the year this summer you'll be able to watch a lot of those, or you'll be able to watch every single one of those AUSL teams play here at this stadium, as they will be the home site for the Carolina Blaze.
And those Clemson and Duke teammates, Anna Gold, who was the Rookie of the Year last year, and Jayla Wright, both on the Carolina Blaze, and then former Clemson stars Valerie Cagle and Mackenzie Clark are also on the Blaze this year. First pitch fouled out of play. Macy Cintron has been a difference maker since she really started pitching this year. The last 9 games, entering this series, she'd made 6 appearances. 1 of them was a start. She has won 4 games and has had a 2.62 ERA over that time. See, a couple appearances early in the year drove that up. This is right back to her, but she gathers herself and fires to first. Excellent job after that nearly got her.
And those are just scary moments on the comebacker, right back at you. Quick reflexes protects her, but then the awareness to be able to gather herself and make a nice little dart throw over to first base. Cintron had a knee injury in the fall that impacted her growth in the circle, but has been just a tremendous utility player for them this season, and her bat is definitely needed in their lineup.
Tenth appearance, 9th in relief this year. She had made just 3 appearances by the end of March, so it's really been a late development. Bunt laid down, Minish, even with that left hand, can't do it. Nobody's covering second, and now Duke has runners at second and third. Here come the Blue Devils.
And that's what makes Deanna Jennings so difficult to defend, because she's able to just put the ball in a touch-and-go situation, drop that drag bunt, and get to first base. But the way that the coverage happens defensively, it leaves second base wide open, and the center fielder didn't come in to cover up that spot. Heads up base running by Jennings to see that opening and take advantage.
Senior Jennings trying to get this team fired up. 7 Duke seniors honored today on the field pregame. They'd like to remember this day more fondly than it looked they might after the top of the 6th. Vega high into left field. Johnson is there. I don't know if you'd have tested her from the warning track the way she's playing today.
And you don't have time to trade outs for runs at this point. So with that ball being a really shallow fly ball out to Johnson, who has been phenomenal today out there in left. So important to be able to stay on third on that one.
Georgia, Oklahoma coming up next here on ESPN2. That game will start on ESPN News. Swing and a miss from Oakland, 1-1 count.
Knowing that Cintron likes to go up and down in the zone with her pitch arsenal, it's so important for her to be able to find corners like that.
2-1. For Oakland, 1 for 3 is a very quiet day, the way she's been swinging it lately. This is outside, 3-1. Five home runs in the last 6 games, but she will take a walk. And the bases are loaded for Duke's single-season home run record holder, Tyrena Jones.
Bases loaded, stepping up to the plate, number 1, Tyrena Jones.
Foul ball. Home runs, 71 RBIs. It's a nice move over there at first base.
It's either that or get hit.
Ground ball. Chops up, and they weren't covering second, and 2 runs will score. A big-time defensive miscue. It looked like Chanel thought Collins would just go to first with it. Oh, for a former middle infielder, I see you shaking your head.
Well, that's one of those situations where you can't take any plays off, and Kylie Chanel just kind of coasted over to second base, expecting the out to be made at first.
Clemson is challenging the call at second base. The call on the field is out. I'm sorry, the call on the field is safe. This plays under further review.
But that comes down to pre-pitch preparation. In that situation, a ball to second base, yes, typically the out is made over at first base, but the coasting over of the shortstop is what prevented the out from being recorded in this situation. That's close.
That is bang, bang.
But unfortunately, that does fall at the feet of Chanel from not being prepared to cover up. And if you're not there, you better be communicating to your second baseman, go to first.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The run is safe.
Just a bizarre moment for Clemson defensively.
The Valley Caps seem to be working for Duke.
At the plate for the Blue Devils is number 7, Layla Lamar.
Layla Lamar, plenty of pop in this bat as well. Swings and just tips it back for strike one. Lamar's got a 7-game hit streak going. Three in that span have been multi-hit games. One. She's homered 3 times in the last 5 games, hit 2 of them in their Game 1 win at Boston College. 2-1.
Well, Lamar is in a really unique situation here on campus at Duke because not only is she a great teammate, but she's the daughter of the head coach, and so it has put her in some situations where she's been able to be a go-between in conversations between the coaching staff and the players, and that can be difficult, but head coach Marissa Young says she just navigates that space so eloquently.
Out in front.
And in talking to head coach Marissa Young, she said early in Lamar's career, the outside pitch was where she was always being thrown. But now as she has gotten better as a hitter, that inside pitch has been something that she's been able to exploit better and has been able to attack that pitch with much more efficiency.
Into left field, Lamar! She does it! A 3-run shot and Duke has life!
It's a t-shirt choice.
After a season where Lamar only got 17 at-bats at Florida, she comes into Duke and has made an immediate impact, not only with her defense, but with her bat. I mean, her 13th home run on the year, her 2nd extra base hit in this ball game. Lamar, happy to be a Blue Devil.
This is in the air to right field. And at last, the 6th inning comes to a close. 10 combined runs. Duke was down 8 when we started the bottom of the 6th. It is now 13-11.
Well, how did the inning start, Chucky? Solo shot, new life for Duke. They put up a big 6th spot.
Here at Smith Family Stadium. The defense chants ringing throughout the crowd. Duke has scored 11. They've done it in just 2 frames. 5 in the first, 6 in the 6th. And the pressure and the momentum and everything has shifted in this game.
Definitely has, and the fans feel it as they continue to just wear those rally caps and look for a way to help out those 9 on the field.
1-1 count. Bradshaw pitching to Mac Pavesi. The problem for Duke is they have to do something they've only done once all game, and that's hold Clemson to nothing. Hard hit ball to the right side. Vega handles it, 1 out.
That's maybe something that impresses me the most about Duke is there's no panic. I mean, even after a ton of zeros went up on the board after a really loud first inning, they continued to just try to get things happening in the box. Couldn't get anything across the plate. But when given opportunities, they exploit little miscues and make you pay as a defense. It was 4 runs in the first inning that were scored off of a miscue that allowed that inning to extend. 3 last inning.
Strike 1 from Bradshaw to Cintron. 2 walks and a 2-run home run for Cintron in the game, and a line out to center field. Two and 1. When Duke comes to the plate in the bottom of this inning, it will be the exact same part of the order that led off the 6th. There's strike 2 to Cintron.
You're right, they batted all the way around, and with that, they will start right back at Gabby Shattuck, who is 2 for 3 in this ball game, a 2-run home run and a solo shot.
Cintron stays alive. Cintron leans into it. It's not going to have quite enough, though, to right center. Caught by Jennings, 2 outs. Jimmy, there hasn't been a 1-2-3 inning for Duke defensively in the game.
Did you just jinx it? Because Marion Collins had a home run in her last at bat. She's going to try to make sure that 1-2-3 inning doesn't happen here.
Bounced in, ball 1 outside. That just misses inside, 2-0. For Clemson, they are 18-2 when leading after 6 innings this year. They had won 6 of their last 7 entering this series. Bounces in 3-0.
Bradshaw looks like she's trying to calm everybody else down on the field, but I think that's her coping mechanism of trying to just get herself back to centered after a really tough little stretch here of balls.
There's strike 1.
So important to just take it a pitch at a time. You want to make sure that you do not look ahead too far or look back in the rearview mirror at what just happened.
Out into left field and caught. The first 1-2-3 inning for Duke defensively. Bradshaw fired up because she knows they've got all the firepower they need. Shattuck, Stafford, and Aaliyah Terrell coming up.
With Duke being threatened with a run rule loss in the bottom of the sixth, Gabby Shattuck started off the inning with a solo home run that you thought was not going to be much of anything. But after a long inning, Layla Lamar capitalized off with a 3-run home run. It was a 6-run bottom of the sixth to pull Duke within 2 runs here today.
10 combined runs in the inning. Clemson put up 4, and it looked like they were going to run away with it, but Duke answers, and here we are, 13-11. The Blue Devils have a chance with Shattuck leading off. This would even top probably what they did against Stanford. The only difference would be that they erased the Stanford deficit, which was 6. That all was erased in the 7th inning, and they won 17-14 when they entered the 7th, trailing 14-8. Today they went from 13-5 to 13-11, and now they get a chance and only need 2 to keep it going or 3 to win it. Shattuck calls time and steps out. The freshman does not look like a true freshman. The way she swung it as of late and the way she started off this series, it's a big cut there, 2-2.
On the batter called time, and in that situation, the advantage is to you as the batter because the pitch clock was winding down. It had the opportunity for you to get a ball called, but at the same time, you've got to make sure that you stay ready as a hitter to be aggressive.
Jenny, for Gabby Shattuck, in the last 8 games, over 1/3 of her hits and more than half of her home runs have come in that time.
I think that's what you're seeing is late in this season, some of these young players understanding the rhythm of what is needed in a game.
Fighting off pitches, looking for a mistake from Cintron. Inside, a leadoff walk for Shattuck. Just as a reminder, Duke at this moment controls what's at stake for themselves. They win today, they win tomorrow, they will get the #1 seed in the ACC tournament and at least a share of the ACC regular season championship. If they were to lose, though, Florida State then can win out and take both of those things.
And knowing that Florida State has Georgia Tech and Boston College to finish out, their potential of being able to sweep both of those series very high. Knowing the importance of that runner over there at first base, they enter the pinch runner. London Collins will take over for Shattuck at first.
First pitch swinging for the freshman Jayla Stafford. So back-to-back true freshman here for Marissa Young. Stafford singled and scored last inning in her first at bat. 1-1.
And it was after that single that we saw the pitching change of Cintron coming into the ball game to relieve the starter Dunning, who had been masterful up until that point.
Back up the middle, base hit, and the winning run is going to come to the plate with nobody out.
In the exact same spot, Jayla Stafford took the ball right back up the middle. And when you leave a ball middle, you can expect to see it hit right back at you. Great execution.
John Rittman is going to make a change and go back to Abby Dunning. We were talking, Jenny, in the 5th inning. Jessica Oakland led off that inning with a pop-up. Tyrena Jones flew out. And we were saying, we were at the point in that game where Clemson maybe wouldn't have to face those batters again. Well, not only did they face them again, they are going to probably, unless it ends before then, have to face them a second time.
With the game on the line, and that's the part of the lineup you do not want to get to. Nobody out, facing the number 9 batter.
We will send you to Georgia, Oklahoma at the end of this game. Oklahoma is up 2-0 with Kendall Wells chasing history. Aura Espinoza hit 37. Carly Spade just a couple years ago at Miami, Ohio, hit 36. And there is Wells, who just broke the Oklahoma record last night, set by Jocelyn Allo. And we will send you there at the end of this game that 30 minutes ago looked over. And we can tell you it is far from that, with 2 on and nobody out for Adeline Matthews, a pinch hitter for Duke, as Abby Dunning, the starter for Clemson, is re-entered.
And everybody with the rally caps on here at Smith Family Stadium.
Foul ball from Matthews.
At the plate for your Blue Devils is 26, Adeline Matthews.
The 3rd straight true freshman to step to the plate in this inning. Matthews from Tallahassee takes strike 2. She's had a good year, hitting just over 300. Has some good power as well. 5 doubles, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. She represents the winning run. Off the end of the bat into an awkward spot. That's good base running over there by Stafford to get back, and there's 1 away.
And that's a big out. When you face a pitcher that is new to the ball game, you want to welcome him with a big hit. But Dunning has been so good in this ball game. She was relieved last inning. The wheels kind of fell off after she departed.
Outside ball 1 to the top of the order, Deanna Jennings. 1 for 3 with a bunt single, a walk, and a couple runs. Amina Vega on deck. Ground ball, great stop, and they get the runner going to second. Defense has been the name of the game so many times for Clemson today, and Chanel trying to make up for a little bit of a miscue last inning with that play.
I was just going to say, last inning, there was a defensive miscue up the middle between those two. So to be able to have that communication, not only the glove skills to get that, but the ability to get there to get the out, so important. They sit just 1 out away from getting out of this one with a win.
you would imagine if you asked Marissa Young, we'll give you a chance to win every game this year with Amina Vega at the plate and 2 outs, she would say, I'll take it.
All day long, every day.
Vega takes strike one of the best hitters in the country. One of the best players to ever wear the Duke jersey on her senior day stands at the plate as the winning run. Ball one high, 1-1.
They are respecting the power of Vega. You got your outfielders with their heels on the warning track. Your infield with their heels close to the lip to the outfield. They are not anticipating any short game. They're looking for Vega to put a charge in one.
Just tipped that. And Amina Vega and Duke down to their final strike. They were down 8 at the start of the last half inning. They put up 6 runs in the 6th. Amina Vega has hit 15 home runs on the season. She leads Duke in almost every category. One-two from Dunning. Duke has won 7 straight. Three-two count. Dunning versus Vega. Who's it gonna be? Ground ball, chance to end it. Clemson hangs on for their 10th win against a top 25 team that ties a program record.
They were giving the opportunity for Duke to take it back, but held on tight and able to get a huge win here at the end of the season.
Game 2 in the books. The rubber match tomorrow at 5 Eastern on ACC Network. For my partner Jenny Dalton Hill and our awesome crew here in Durham, I'm Chucky Kemp. Let's send you now to Georgia, Oklahoma. The chase is on for Kendall Wells.